All right. I think we are good to go. All right. Okay, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. That's Shelley Bosch here, Michelle Bochard from Parent Dashboard. And we are on our how to look after you as a yourself as a parent of neurodiversity. So thanks for being at this Parent Dashboard Presents event. And we have the lovely Wicked Ace Chrissy with us. Hi. She's dialing in from the UK, and we have some other folks here in the Zoom room, and we're live casting to the official community, so you guys can all take advantage of this later if you didn't get a chance to get your tickets. But the links are in the group if you still want to join us here in the Zoom room, so you can chat live with Chrissy. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here. Chrissy is a habits coach, and she herself is a neurodiverse parent of neurodiverse kids. And she's just like got this bubbly, positive-minded personality that I just really appreciate, and has been through some stuff. And so Chrissy, can you tell us why you work on habits and why you do what you do as sort of like a habit coach, and what you do with neurodiverse parents?
Yeah, basically, okay, hi. I just started doing this because basically I'm a parent, as and we're all struggling to find out and do, like, basically just struggling to survive. So what spurred me on is, like, obviously my boys have grown up now. Well, they're not grown, they're like 13 and 14, and like kind of as they got older, they've needed me less. So I'm just like, well, now what do I do? What do I do now? It's just like, yeah, it's just me. And I was a young parent. When I say young, I was 21. So I just kind of fell into just being a parent and lost my identity. And I was like, well, what do I do now? So I was just, and I've obviously been in and out of like businesses. I've just basically followed what brought me joy and what excites me. And what I found really excites me is helping other people and helping other parents who are struggling, just like me. So and I've just figured out like an easy way to, well, that's not easy, but it's like I figured out a simple way to help parents kind of find time to look after themselves, and to, because it's really simple to find time to look after themselves, because we do just kind of get wrapped up in looking after our kids and just being there for our kids, which is absolutely fine, but we also need to look after ourselves, because, yeah, as everyone says, you can't pour from an empty cup, which
right. Well, and we have so much, like, I mean, neurotypical parents, yeah, are busy and they have pressures, but there's just sort of like an extra layer of complexity and barriers and unpredictability that is the life with complex needs that makes it trickier to take care of yourself, right? Yeah. And exerts more pressure and creates harder things to do, and just sort of like just complicates things and bogs you down. So yeah, I really appreciate you like being able to provide us that, and you're like squirrel, right? And like being able to provide us that consistent kind of like pathway or habits are really important. So it will be good to talk about that today. So so I have a problem. One of the things I think, at least for me, that happens is that dealing with the medical system, with the educational system, with all of the, the social services system, the mental health system, like every thing we go into as a neurodiverse parent, advocating for our kids and, getting all the things and doing all the things that they need done, sort of pops up all of these barriers that aren't there for other types of parents. But and so when we come up across these barriers, or when these barriers stop us, at least for me, it feels very personal, right? So like, my child can't get this, my child needs that, I can't, like, and it becomes, you either personalize it or you get angry at the system, and sometimes the mama bear comes out and you rip through them and you get what you need, and that's great. But a lot of the time, that the cumulative impact of that constant advocacy, constant coordination, constant research, and resource seeking can give the unintended kind of impression to you that you're not doing good enough, like there isn't enough, you can't have enough, you can't do enough, you can't be enough, when there's a failure, you can't get the school system, like what happened for my son, to provide what he needed. And then it's sort of like, and then we also get that directly as well sometimes too, with this system sort of saying, oh, there must be something with at home that's the issue, right? And and it's sort of like, how do we so my problem, I guess, is internalizing that sense of not good enough, shame, or not being able to, or the anger and negativity and bitterness that prevents us from having a positive mindset. So I don't know if that's kind of a tall order, and we didn't really talk about this pre-scripted, but what do you think about that? How and if anybody else relates to this, feel free to put in the chat, or relate your your own personal version of that, or any other question that you want for Chrissy, and we'll go through the chat afterwards. So if you wouldn't mind taking a crack at mine, I'll just try and capitalize on this opportunity with you.
Okay, well, basically, I feel, and I've been through exactly the same, and I've just put some kind of tools in place with me, because I've been through, obviously I don't just get it from myself, like the self-critic and saying I haven't done enough. I get it from people around me as well. I'm not going to say who, because but I'm just saying I get it from everywhere, and I've had it from everywhere, saying that I'm not good enough, I'm not a good parent. But the one thing that I actually did start to do that helped me was, firstly, I wrote down everything that was a good parent, that meant being a good parent was. Okay, so that's what I meant, that's what I wrote that down, wrote everything down, what is a good mom to
what
me,
you did well. Do you mean what we were actually doing, or what you think is a good mom?
What I think is a good parent, what I think is what makes a good parent or a good mom.
Okay.
And I wrote them down. I'm just like, and then I actually ended up ticking them all off anyway. So I have to keep reminding myself that as long as I'm doing all these things,
okay,
that you might not be able to do them all at the same time,
right?
Obviously, because we can't do everything all at once. But like, as long as we're doing them to some extent, that kind of helped me build my muscle, as if to say, right, okay, no, these things do happen. We've got to kind of forgive ourselves for not always, or for thinking that we're not, for doing it, for not apologies, this is the neurodiverse me. I
just need you to, sorry.
So, but then obviously also with that, we have, as we grow up as well, we also have beliefs, and that we've acknowledged and got from past experiences. So as I've said to you, I've got it from everywhere, so that's what's bringing them to the forefront. But when you feel angry at the system, or people aren't doing stuff, it's like, it's not so much about obviously what they're doing, it's what you believe and what your beliefs around this whole thing. So obviously if you're feeling insecure as a parent, or as a mom, or interested in general, then you're going to have these beliefs that you've kind of got to unravel and figure out where they've come from. I hope I'm making sense. So you figure out where
that does make sense. So set out a little bit more of sort of like an objective list of the core things that you think you should be, so you can check yourself against that, so you're like kind of got your focus point, and then not worry about the rest, and then sort of take a look at where when we're feeling, like recognizing that we're feeling that way, and what brings it up, so that we can address those core, I guess, they're limiting beliefs, or what is at the
they're limiting beliefs. It's just stuff that you've kind of over time, everyone's kind of gone through stuff, and we've kind of picked up beliefs and just thoughts and actions that kind of go with them. So whatever is kind of, because our brains are like taught to protect us basically, and we'll do things and we'll keep doing the same things over and over, so it protects us. So Mel Robbins, she kind of explains this as a bit like we've got kind of like she calls it the RAF, which is the reticular activated system or something like that, RAS. So it's like a hairnet that you've got over your brain, and all this and it's full literally of all these beliefs and thoughts and stuff that you've got, that you've kind of accumulated over time. She kind of uses the analogy like it's like a tumble dryer. So you've got all the lint on the tumble dryer. So that's what's happened over the years. You've kind of collected all of this lint, all these beliefs, all this rubbish, and it's all stuck here and it's filtering through. So whatever you experience, it's going to filter through. It's going to kind of like
color the way that you see it.
Yeah, it's just gonna, it's gonna kind of filter and kind of, what's the word you just said? Sorry.
Yeah, color the way, like stop.
Yeah. So what you have to do, you have to kind of clear away that lint. You have got to kind of clear it away, and by you do that by literally, there's a daily habit in there that you can do, which is the high five habit, which is Mel Robbins. It's basically you high five yourself in the mirror every day. And she's got a whole book on it, so if you do, that's a recommendation right there. So Mel Robbins, a high five habit, and she kind of says to you that you can, once you high five yourself in the mirror, you're kind of cheering for yourself, you're kind of building that self-belief. You're like, you are being a good parent, you are being a good mom, you've done this, you've achieved this, and you've recognized that. And once you do that, there is a whole science behind it. The book is absolutely amazing, I do recommend you read it. But again, that's the habit behind that, and that's how you kind of clear off that lint and clear off that stuff that's there. But then like the other, so words, sorry, lost my train of thought again.
No, that's so good. Yeah, no, because I think it's hard when you're amidst the crisis, right? Yeah. To self-appreciate.
Yeah.
Right? It sort of feels exactly. Counterintuitive when you are dealing with the kid having the meltdown or hurting themselves, for example. To kind of it's almost taboo, right, to say, okay, disabled child, I just need a moment here. Like it's not like when you're in the moment you can do that. But I actually also had to have like, and sometimes we need like specific help around this. So like withdrawing, it kind of turns into a little bit of parenting as well when you're doing self-care, because if you're modeling good self-care for yourself, then that actually shows them that that they can't maneuver the situation through behaviors, but it shows them how to they should be taking care of themselves. So it's totally counterintuitive, and it took me a really long time to kind of like figure out right in the crisis moment. But then once I got the hang of kind of like figuring out, okay, when I needed to step in and when I, for safety and other reasons, and when I didn't, then it was kind of like, okay, well, like what's in my like mop up routine? So like you go through one of those like tough moments, right? And you're like, I need a drink. No, so which isn't maybe the most adaptive type of thing. So what
we've all been there.
what would you recommend for a sort of like that immediate post-crisis kind of set of moments, or what is a habit routine for de-escalating yourself, or a habit routine for, because like bath bombs and spa days can only cut it so far, right? Like we need a daily, like I always laugh at those posts, oh, I need to have a glass of wine. I'm like, yeah, I need more than that.
Well, no, I've been on a whole journey with cutting alcohol out of my life anyway, so it's just like, but I totally get you, because that's what I used to do. I used to like, oh, I'm gonna have a cider, I'm gonna have a drink because I need one, but I don't do that anymore.
Well, what do you do?
Well, what I do is I tend to, so the most recent one, I kind of still do things to raise my state, and that's what I kind of teach other people to do. So whatever you enjoy doing, go and do it. So for me, I enjoy listening to music. I like dancing and singing around the living room is also good. I know it's probably not the greatest when your son or daughter is not happy in their bedroom and you're dancing around like a lunatic. But that's what I tend to do, or I just start doing things that make me feel better, or I'll go out for a walk if I can. I'll get myself out. I'll change. I'll probably, if I'm in my pajamas, I'll get dressed into some nice clothes. I'll take selfies. Do you know what I mean? I just do certain things that make me feel better about myself. But
And
then
bring the focus back onto your own well-being so that you can finish your day.
And I'll try and focus on obviously that list that I've done about being a mom. Like, it's a mental list now, it's just there. And I'm just like, right, no, he's okay, he's safe. This is just it. You just kind of got to try and put the positives in the place. Yeah, you can have your moment, because I sometimes sit and just start crying myself because I can't listen to him do what he does. It hurts. But then you kind of feel that, and then my motto is feel it, learn from it, let it go. But that's with everything, but not so much in this instance. It's just, but you feel it, you let it out, and then you just kind of just get on with it, because as you say, your kids do, like I say, kids do as we do, not do as we say. So if we're sat there moping, so are they. So especially, I've got 2 boys, so I've got another child as well. So if I'm sat there like, oh my God, like the world is ending, everything's rubbish, then he's going to be learning from that too. He's going to be picking up on that. So you've kind of got to, obviously have your moments, because I'm not one for kind of suppressing everything and just like, no, I'm all good, everything's fine. Have your moment, but then get up and kind of just do the things that you like to do. And as I said, for me, obviously, to raise my energy, it's a big one, is dancing and listening to loud music.
So some sort of like physical activation to get you.
Move your body. Exercise is a good one as well. But I'll get into that again in a bit. But I'm just saying, move, just do something, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, what you can do, because it's all about what you can do. I can tell you what I do to raise my state, but it might be different to you. But yeah, so when you do that, when you're going through those motions, and you just kind of reassure yourself that everything's okay to an extent, and just put like certain thoughts in place to flip it. And that's how I kind of get through those crisis moments, hard times, crisis times.
Right. Okay. And then in terms of like day structure and habits, like how do you find the time to do that? Like, what is your recommendations around like staying consistent with our self-care routines? Like how do you build it in your day, or what are your thoughts around that?
Okay, so firstly, as I said, I've mentioned exercise. I do like the time for, I get up earlier in the morning. I start my day before everybody else. I used to be that person that said, I ain't getting up. I'm not getting up and doing workouts or like getting up before the kids. I'm just going to roll out of bed, shout at my kids because they're not doing something, and just ram breakfast down my throat and then head out the door. I used to be that person, but not anymore. I get up an hour earlier. I do things to look after me. So I work out. I will have my breakfast in peace and quiet. I don't touch my phone. I set my day up right from the get-go, and you kind of have much more of a productive and better day, because you're kind of ready for whatever the day throws at you. You've done the bits for you. You've done what you needed to do. Well, I've done what I've needed to do. So I just do it. I have a better day, because I'm all about raising your state up here, so that, like, obviously when things happen during the day, you just get brought down to this level rather than rock bottom.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah,
it seems like, because we can get up running right out of bed, or sometimes in the middle of the night, and don't stop until the next night, right? Like when they don't sleep, or when they, all of those things. So
finding time, you've kind of got to work it into your own routine, because obviously I've got older kids, and obviously I know for some people that have got younger kids, it's a little harder to get up earlier before they do. But you've kind of just got to find where you can find those little slots of time. It doesn't have to be long. It can just be 10 minutes. I've even learned how to meditate on the loo. Do you know what I mean? It's just like when you sat on the toilet, all I do is I switch off all my whatever thoughts come to my head. I just go. They just disappear. I just kind of say, right now, okay, go away. And that's kind of my form of meditation. There are pockets of time that you will get throughout your day, but again, you've got to find the time. But we all have the same hours in a day. right? We all have them. So again, it's about finding what fits for you, but then also, but this is what my course, what I teach is basically how to leverage the power of a daily habit, how to leverage habits and put in things on autopilot for yourself so that you don't have to think about doing it, you just end up doing it anyway. So as I say to you, as I said before, like once like Darwin's my son, had a meltdown, I will do the things instantly now that like raise my state. I will do them instantly because I've formed those habits.
Right.
And you don't even think about it anymore. So I don't think about doing it, like it just comes naturally. And that's what I teach other people, and how to leverage the form of a daily habit, because habits are things that we do subconsciously. We do them every single day. And again, and like we also put routines in place for our kids, but we never put any routines in place for ourselves.
Right.
So that's
so like I've you're sort of like your three tips of being, you know, like self appreciation, addressing your limiting beliefs, raising your state, and then but what do you do in your course that helps others be sort of like the best versions of themselves and for their children? Like what can you tell us what you cover in your work with people? Like what are the steps you take them through?
So I talk to people about what it is they're struggling with, the kind of person that they want to be, and the things that they actually want to achieve, the things that they want to do. So it's kind of all tailor-made. So I'll speak with you about that first, and then I'll take you through like a blueprint, a step-by-step on how to, and then we'll break it down. So you've got your goal, you've got who you want to be, and I'll break it down then into actionable steps, or habits, so to speak, because what we do daily, obviously, so basically the key to success is what we do daily. So I'll break it down into habits, or help you kind of form, so that you words, oh my god. Yeah, so my brain's going quicker than my mouth. Okay, that's what happens.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll speak with you about what it is that you want to do, your goals, and then we'll break it down into, we'll come up with a plan of action, and then it'll go through an online program of like how to make and break a habit successfully.
Okay.
Including on how to set yourself up properly, because that's the way to stay consistent. You've got to set yourself up right from the beginning, because if you don't, then you're not going to stay consistent with it.
Right.
So you kind of got to, so it's about putting boundaries in place with the people around you. It's about like changing your environment and stuff like that. But it's things you don't even think about. But once you've actually got these habits and these things in place, it just becomes second nature. And it does, as I say, it helps you raise your state so that you can be the best version of you for your kids, because you've done all the things. You're just doing everything for you on autopilot. And then because with that online program, there's that blueprint, but it's lifetime access to that blueprint.
Okay.
Of how to make and change. And then there's accountability and weekly calls with me, because the key again is accountability and support, because you won't be able to do it on your own. You can, but it's hard. It's so difficult to do it on your own, like to change things, especially when you've got life happening around you as well, and people around you that don't support you.
Right. Well, it's a bit like trying to reach the sign on your back, right? You can't quite get it. You need somebody else to kind of help you through. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, basically, if there's anybody that has any questions or wants to type in the chat, you know, Chrissy is in the Facebook group, and we will put maybe the link to her offer if you feel drawn to getting her to help you with your particular self-care habits and needs, or any other types of habits that you need to fix, and you need you know, help with that. She's made herself available and would be happy to help you. And we just appreciate, you know, you being here and going over these tips with us, because sometimes it's just a matter of remembering what you need to do and getting some help, you know, or a little bit of an accountability partner to do those things. Sometimes it's learning new tricks and or new perspectives. And so I want to thank you for helping us today with all of those things.
It's all right. It's fine. I was talking to somebody earlier and they said like they know what to do, and it's the same with everybody. We all know what to do. It's just having the accountability and the support to do it, and just do it to start off right.
Structure and building the habit.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you want to make long-lasting, sustainable changes. You don't want to just go from thing to thing and just quit. Because I've been that person too. I've just like going along the lines of fitness and stuff and looking after yourself that way. I've been the person that's gone through fad diets and God knows what else. And I'm just like, you just don't. They're not sustainable. It doesn't stick. So about changing your lifestyle. Yeah, as I say, I could go on forever and ever.
Well, we're looking forward to being able to have you in our group, and anybody can kind of like catch up with you anytime. But
that's absolutely fine. Yeah, you can reach out to me.
All right, and we will put the link on the for Chrissy's offer in the chat, and then just keep in mind that every at the end, last Saturday of every month we've got another Parent Dashboard Presents events, and I don't have my list in front of me, so I can't. I can tell you what one it is this next time, and you mentioned we've got actually Claire Louise Owen coming at one point. I think it's in April, actually, the end of April, to talk about how not to use alcohol and how to, switch off of that. It's sort of another aspect of self-care that we're hoping to cover. But next month in March, it'll be Marianne Hughes talking about how to deal with overwhelm of separations and divorce. And then it'll be Claire Louise Owen with, she's a soberholic coach and help, and then we'll be going through, we've got another couple of other great speakers on how to prevent burnout, and that one's in, I think, May. So so it's going to be a good self-care year this year, but I want to thank you for helping us kick it off and being in our group and helping us with the habits part, because that's sort of like really fundamental on how to set your habits and keep it consistent, right? So
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here, and hope everybody's well, and we'll see you next month. And let us know what you thought. If you have any comments or particular things you have to work on, make sure you put it in there, and Chrissy will connect with you and help you out. So thanks a lot. Take good care. Bye.
Bye.